And we're live. I'm Amanda Beth. This is Amanda Beth Healing, and we are going live for Transformation Tuesday, like we do every Tuesday. And I've really gotten a lot of positive feedback for the angel cards. Everybody loves the angel cards. And we're just going to keep going. We're going to keep going with the angel cards. So, this last weekend I was reminded that our energy asks us to do two things. Sometimes we have to step away and return to nature to quiet that noise and come back to ourselves. And that was what glamping gave me. I don't always get to do that reset and enjoy the river lot as often as I would like to. I had these wild ideas that I would spend a lot of my summer there, but this summer, quite frankly, it's just been really, really hot. Um, and so I haven't done that as much as I would like to, but as the nights are cooling off, and yeah, I look forward to really getting back to myself and getting that quiet that I need as a reset. But also the reminder that we aren't only here for ourselves. I had the honor of being an in between greeter for a child who was riding the school bus to school for the very first time, for the very first day of our school year. And I was able to be there to help him feel welcomed and supported, having a familiar face. And that was awesome. So, those two things, getting that reset in nature for me, um, and then being able to be present for someone else who may or may not have needed me to be there. Actually, this young man was proud as punch and doing wonderful. But I still got to have a glimpse of that and to be a part of that part. So as we restore ourselves, we also have that energy to notice when somebody else needs some reassurance or some kindness or simply a welcoming face. And I'll tell you what, the school district, they really have this down to a science. It was pretty awesome. My oldest daughter got to have her first day of school 27 years ago. So 27 years ago was my first time being that nervous mom and taking a kiddo into school for their first day of school. And it brought back a lot of memories for me and for my children, seeing all the first day of schools that I did catch over the years and just being proud as a mom. And now looking at how organized this was. There were so many parents bringing their kiddos to school today. There were signs, they were delegating where the kiddos were dropped off. The school bus would drive up and it dropped off the kindergartners, and then it dropped off the third and fourth graders, and then to the first and second graders, and then moved on up to drop off the middle school kids. But it was just really nice. We had our local law enforcement. We had lots of teachers, lots of greeters. It was wonderful. And I also had the opportunity to help some other little lost kiddos who just kind of looked really lost. And you could say, which grade are you going to? And I could point them in a line. So, yeah, identifying those kiddos, even though I wasn't set there to be there for those kids, I was able to, feel like I did something. And so today, I think we're going to talk about the angels, about this balance of returning to ourselves, stepping into the new beginnings, and remembering that we are something larger. So, the angel that I drew for us today, she is the angel of power. Um, so, the angel of power, infinite power, heal me. I In my real beingness, I am strong, happy, and peaceful. Our soul's power is revealed to the personality as a clear purpose and the capacity to decide for the good of everyone involved in situations. Soul power is never over someone or something. It is a power shared with all involved. That means a sharing of spiritual blessings that energize when we tune in to the divine purpose of our lives. Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's just really cool. And I think that it goes well with what we're talking about here is uniting and being together. So, um, yeah. So if you would like to have an angel card, please connect with me in the comments and say angel and let me know kind of what your topic is. It doesn't have to be anything personal. I don't want anyone to ever feel uncomfortable asking for an angel draw because the angels will know what it is and we'll be able to move forward with that. So while everybody catches up with us and technology gets all lined up, um, I had a couple of people ask me questions since last week's angel draws, and so let's see here. Let me find that question. Um, So this one says, so many people feel alone or disconnected right now. What can I do to feel supported and help someone else feel like they belong? That's kind of a deep question. Yeah, to to reach out and to help others. And so, I talked about earlier, making sure that you have done your reset and that you feel whole and complete is where we can first off, we can't pour from that empty cup. So let's see what the angels say about how you can help others feel supported. Oh, this is the angel of birth. She comes up kind of often. She's really this neat little angel here. So she is the angel of birth. I am being born each moment to the newness in my life. When a cycle is complete, it holds within it the time to welcome birth. Birth is the moment of transition that precedes a great revelation that all has just been born is full of freshness, novelty, and innocence. Nothing is more important than the birth of love in our hearts. So, as you talk about um, belonging, usually feeling like you're belonging is like feeling like you're belonging into something that is new. And so, the angel of birth, she talks about part of that birthing process, part of coming into something is coming into something that is new, that is it's holding all of the great opportunities. And so I think that you can help that person feel supported, number one, in just your presence, just being there and not necessarily offering any fixes, just being there to listen, to be present to what is happening. um, I know it's really hard for me because sometimes people ask me for things and I'm like, I just want to listen. I just want to listen. But there are times when that coach in me pops out and I say, okay, are you open to some coaching? Do you want my opinion? So make sure you're asking what they need from you. And so helping people to feel better connected oftentimes is just being with them, witnessing their birth as things come through that are um, that are important for them. Because we all have different things that make us click. Glamping is my reset. Um, Maybe some retail therapy is your reset, whatever it is. So connecting with them so that they can feel like they belong. And so with that, there's this really great. So if you think that question really resonated with you, maybe put in the comments connection. Having that connection with others, that's so important. If that that rang true for you also, just put connection in the comments. That would be great. And so we can move on, because this next question really kind of sets the stage there nicely. How you recognize when you're genuinely being called to help someone, and when you're taking responsibility for something that isn't yours. This is a fine line. This is a fine line, and as empaths, we struggle with being able to um, help but not do, because when we step into that role of doing for someone else, we disempower them. We are not allowing them to really enjoy that learning curve. They need to experience it. If we always do it for them, they'll never learn how. And so this one works with that. How do you help serve without losing yourself? Um, Let's see what the angels have to say to this as we shuffle up the cards here. My favorite deck in the whole wide world. Okay, this is the Angel of Clarity. Play with the lighting here. Okay. So the Angel of Clarity. The clarity of my soul flows through me when I think and act in the world. The more we tune in to the inner light that comes to guide our actions safely, the simpler life becomes. This clarity, a kind of inner knowing that leads us easily and lightly to what is right. So, we talk about listening to our inner voice, and this is what this angel is saying. How do you know when it's okay to help and when it's more important that you're just present? So you're not losing yourself. And that's listening to the Angel of Clarity. What comes up in you about this situation? As things, if it's feeling like it's a burden, if there's any part of it that angers you, it's crossed one of your boundaries. If you're beginning to feel resentful, then those are some of the key indicators that you're really taking on more than what is your part of the situation. And a lot of times that's so hard. It's so hard to step back and not do for people, because we are all nurturing, loving, capable, empathic people. And we really enjoy helping people. But you can't, I remind you, don't help at the expense of yourself. And be aware that if you're doing for, you're disempowering them. And it takes away from their ability to have their lesson. So yeah. Let's see. I've got let's do one more. How can I keep my heart open and remain hopeful when the world around me feels divided, heavy, or uncertain? Oh, that's really hard. That is a big question, because we do feel the mass consciousness. We do feel what is going on around us, and how are we able um, to be hopeful when those around us are not feeling quite so hopeful. And I'm going to fall back on a gratitude practice, being thankful for everything. I am thankful that you all have showed up today to be a part of this, and to accept any of the energies that are being sent for you, and just being a part of being more positive. So finding that gratitude practice that works for you, being thankful for everything that you have. And as we stay in that positivity, then we're not going to be sucked down by that divided, heavy, or uncertain world around you. As you identify what's going on, and then separate yourself back, pull back from that, identifying what it is you need to stay positive. Sometimes that means you don't go to those situations, those meetings, those places where things are heavy. There's nothing wrong with protecting your energy that way. So let's see what the angels have to say about this. Of, how to stay hopeful when the world feels heavy. And this is the angel of responsibility. So we have the angel of responsibility. My ability to respond makes me feel accountable. I am joyfully responsible for my life. Whenever we use our ability to respond with our talents and capacities to all that ascribe to us, we are being responsible. This can mean using those talents and abilities for the good of all in a light and joyful way. Responsibility is only a burden when we forget to use our talents and cut ourselves off from the flow of spiritual energies that are always waiting to help us whenever we can respond. Okay, I think the angels got it right. It's responsible for your life and your feelings. So when you are in a place that feels divided, heavy, or uncertain, as those were the words that came through, if it doesn't feel right, then stepping back and being responsible first to yourself and to your ability to take on another task, take on another job, take on a responsibility. But first, so for me, this would be, returning back to nature, going to the river, resetting, feeling true and responsible to myself before I step out and take on anything else. Being set in my positivity. Nobody's going to bring me down today when I'm responsible to myself. So if that relates with you, definitely put hope in the comments, because that makes us hopeful that we can move forward and we can be a bigger part of greater things in life. So, this kind of gets back to, our role isn't here to fix the whole world. Sometimes our role is to step into nature, restore our own energy, and sometimes it's to stand beside someone who's at the edge of a new beginning. Sometimes we just notice the need and we, for them to become safe. Welcoming a presence that helps another person take that next step. Those were our angels today. We talked about the angel of power, the angel of birth, the angel of clarity, and the angel of responsibility. So I think all of those speak that, when we take care of ourselves so that we can really remain awake enough to recognize those moments and stay whole enough to show up for them, And sometimes we can recognize that someone has a need, and maybe their need goes beyond what we feel comfortable providing for them or what we're able to actually provide for them. And that's when we tap into other resources. You use your social connections to find the services that person needs. Not any one service stands alone. Most services work well in combination of other services and other people. There were so many other people at the school this morning. There were teachers. There were, the guys who were directing traffic just in the parking lot, keeping everyone safe, greeting everyone. We had our local law enforcement there, and it was heartwarming to see the number of children who were high-fiving with the officer and just really appreciative of his presence there and that level of safety that comes for children. So thank you all for being here today. If you're catching this in the replay, definitely do hashtag replay and let us know that that you're here. If you have a question you'd like me to draw for, I'll be happy to do that again next week. We'll try this next week and see how it's going. Or I'm open to other suggestions and see what we do in the Transformation Tuesdays. Maybe a different time of day. I don't know what works for everybody else. On my calendar, let's see what's coming up on my calendar. So, not this Friday, but next Friday, I will be at Holistic Gypsies, I believe from noon to 6 for pop up readings, book signing. We'll do the mini energy scans or do some angel card draws in person. And then following that, the 12th, we'll be at Gypsy Fest in Salem, Iowa, offering the readings, the books, and we'll throw in some crochet. I've been working on those floor turtles, the floor mops for your kitchen. I'll have jelly and other goodies for available for sale. So I look forward to seeing everybody. Stay safe. Take care of your energy. It's what you've got. It's what you have to take control of. I look forward to seeing you all next week. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe so that you'll be notified. We do go live on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Replays will always be available on YouTube. So catch up with me. You can always find me also at amandabethhealing.com/linktree. It'll get you to the socials that you want to see. We'll catch you next time.